With as many bodies as atoms in all lands, I bow to all Buddhas, with a mind directed to all Buddhas, by the power of the vow of the practice of good. In a single atom, Buddhas as many as atoms sit in the midst of enlightening beings. So it is of all things in the cosmos. I realize all are filled with Buddhas. I laud all the Buddhas therein, expounding in all languages the qualities of all Buddhas, with endless oceans of manifestations. With the finest flowers, garlands, musical instruments, perfumes, and parasols, the finest lamps and incenses, I make offerings to those Buddhas. With the finest clothes, fragrances, and mountainous baskets of aromatic powders, with the finest of all kinds of adornments, I make offerings to those Buddhas. Whatever be the best of offerings, I produce them for all Buddhas. By the power of devotion to the practice of good, I honor and serve all Buddhas. Whatever evil I may commit, under the sway of passion, hatred, or folly, bodily, verbally, or mentally, I confess it all. And whatever the virtue of beings everywhere, hearers, saints, self-conquerors, enlightened beings, and Buddhas, in all that I do, rejoice. And all the lamps of the worlds in the 10 directions who have realized enlightenment and attained non-obstruction, I seek as guides that they may turn the supreme wheel of teaching. And those who wish to manifest extinction, I petition respectfully to remain for eons, as many as atoms in the land, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. By honor, service, and direction, by appreciating, seeking, and requesting teachings, whatever good I have accumulated, I dedicate it all to enlightenment. May the Buddhas of the past be honored, as well as those now in the worlds of the 10 directions. And may those of the future be at ease, filled with joy, having realized enlightenment. May all the lands of the 10 directions be purified, supreme, and filled with Buddhas and enlightening beings at the tree of enlightenment. May all beings in the 10 directions be happy and well. May all beings' righteous aims be successful. May their hope be realized. As I am carrying out enlightenment practice, may I recall my lives in all states. In every lifetime, as I die and am reborn, may I always transcend the mundane. Learning from all Buddhas, fulfilling the practice of good, I will practice pure conduct, always free from defect. I will expound the teaching in the languages of gods and dragons, in the languages of demons and humans, and of all living beings. May those engaged in the way of transcendence not stray from enlightenment, and may all evils to be inhibited be thoroughly extinguished. I will traverse the paths of the world, free from compulsion, affliction, and delusion, like a lotus unstained by water, like the sun and moon unattached in the sky, extinguishing all the miseries of bad states and bringing all beings to happiness. I will act for the welfare of all beings in all lands everywhere, according with the conduct of sentient beings, while fulfilling the practice of enlightenment and cultivating the practice of good. Thus will I act throughout future eons. May I always be in communion with those who share my practice. Physically, verbally, and mentally, I will carry out vows as one practice. And may I always be with my benefactors who teach me the practice of good. May I never displease them. May I always seek the Buddhas face to face, surrounded by enlightening beings. I will make fine offerings to them, forever unwearied. Preserving the true teaching of Buddhas, illumining the practice of enlightenment, and purifying the practice of good, I will practice for all future eons. migrating through all states of being, having acquired inexhaustible virtue and knowledge, may I become an inexhaustible treasury of wisdom and means, concentration, liberation, and all virtues. As I carry on the practice of enlightenment, may I see the inconceivable Buddhas sitting among enlightening beings in the lands as numerous as atoms that are in each atom. Thus may I perceive the oceans of Buddhas and lands of all times, in each point in the 10 directions, as I practice for myriad eons. May I ever penetrate the eloquence of Buddhas, the voices of all Buddhas which adapt to mentalities, the purity of articulation of all Buddhas, by the sound of the ocean of tones in a single utterance. Into those infinite voices of all Buddhas of all times may I enter by Buddha power, turning the wheel of teaching.